Greetings everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm your host Captain Rye. Today's YouTube video has got me back in my Fletcher, doing what I do best in my Fletcher, which is winning. Because of course, you all definitely need more Captain Rye in this ship. As the match gets underway, it's the North map, and it's the North Winter map, and it's standard battle mode, which means there are no additional caps for me to go after. It's also a very destroyer-heavy map in standard battle mode, which means it's going to be a little more difficult to figure out where the enemy destroyers are. But that also means that there's a strong probability that they're all going to group up and cluster together. And that could be a bit of a problem, as the enemy team does have 2 Fletchers on their team, while my team only has 1. The enemy team has the destroyer advantage, and that almost going to be a problem in this battle. The standard battle mode versus domination battle mode. Personally, I don't mind this battle mode when I'm in certain ships. The advantage to having the domination match mode, especially if you've got a lot of destroyers in the queue, is that you can then split the destroyers across all of the caps. That gives them something to do, better scouting, better spotting, and of course, if you're in a battleship or a cruiser, you don't end up having a wall of skill because all 5 of the destroyers all launch all of their torpedoes at you. But in standard battle mode, of course, not the case. People can pretty much go where they want. Now, I do spot one of the enemy destroyers over there, and it looks like he was heading off the other direction towards where the B cap point would be. Enemy Bismarck up here is doing some maneuvering, and it looks like he's turning in, which is unfortunate, and I think I'm going to miss all of my torpedoes there. Really disappointing. That would have been an excellent full broadside on him, of course, as he turns back. But it's too late. Torpedoes are already past him. Now, there are 2 battleships down here, and a cruiser that's just popped up, and there's actually another cruiser that's popped up, and he's right in front of me, and that's the enemy Fiji. He pops his smoke screen, and I'm really quite too close to him. If he's got his hydro, he can pop that, and he will see me, and I definitely don't need him to see me, so I pop my engine boost consumable here, and I'm going to get myself turned around, and I'm going to get some distance away from that island, just because I don't want to be exposed to that cruiser. Simultaneously, I kind of want to get turned around and head up back towards where the D cap point would be, into that channel there, because like I said, there's a cruiser back there, and both of these battleships that are down here seem to be taking the long way around to the base. Of course, they can do that because there's not a lot of ships, at least that they can see, that are defending this side of the map. Still haven't been spotted yet, which is good for me. But even if I had been spotted, nothing's really in a good position to shoot me. Now, I know that there is a cruiser somewhere in that smokescreen, but I'm not sure if he is still there. So I only fire off 1 set of torpedoes, mostly because I'm afraid he might now have been bow on, and the spread of both sets would miss him completely and effectively warn him that there is a destroyer here. As I push up in here, I'm going to get turned broadside on so that I can get my torpedo tubes away at enemy ships that are pushing up over here. And from the lead indicator, it looks like they are continuing to push forward, so really it's just a waiting game. I do have 1 set available, and the other set should be available soon enough. Hopefully, I'll have both sets in rapid succession available as they continue to push up. But it looks like there are a couple of the ships over there that are turning and maneuvering heavily. I'm detected here, turn around, and that's going to be the Fiji that's popped out within my detection range. He's broadside on me, so I switch over to my armor piercing. That Fiji takes a massive hit. Armor piercing mostly over penetrates on a Fiji do manage to get a couple of regular penetrations there, though, finally. Not doing a lot of damage as he turns away, so I switch back over to the high explosive in an effort to try and light him on fire. He is already on fire, and I think that's because he's taking massive amounts of secondaries from the friendly Bismarck there, but it could be from another ship shooting at him. Speaking of Bismarcks, the enemy Bismarck that I fired torpedoes off earlier in the game has finally pushed forward past that island enough, and I'm not sure how he's maneuvering here, so I give him a nice wide maximum spread, but I do lose 2 of my 10 torpedoes there in the process, and pay attention to that. It's going to be a little bit important. Enemy Fiji pops his smoke screen, but I know he's down at that island, and we're going to actually see him firing shots out of there, so I know he's going to be back in that smoke screen, which is going to be good for me. Do manage to hit that Bismarck with 3 torpedoes. If I'd hit him with 1 more, it would have been a devastating strike and an excellent kill for me. Unfortunately, only hit him with 3. Do cause flooding, though. Lots of nice fat damage. My team has lost any of the destroyer advantage that we could have had, as we have lost 2 of our 4 destroyers, and we're about to lose even more ships. The enemy team still hasn't lost a single ship in this game, and that is really, really annoying. Now, I know that the enemy Fiji is in there because, again, I saw those shots come out of that smoke screen. At this point, I'm just waiting for my torpedoes to reload, and they're not that far out. So I'm going to get both sets in there, and I'm going to spread them out just a little bit. That smoke screen's not very wide, and based on where those shots came out, and based on the island, I think he's sitting somewhere right in the center of that smoke screen would make the most sense to me. Whether or not he's broadside on, I don't know, but really, he's low enough health that I only have to hit him with 1 torpedo. He probably doesn't have his hydro consumable up, because as those torpedoes penetrate, am I going to get the kill? Come on, yes I do. He gets last shots off there, and I managed to take him out with a torpedo, and there is my first kill of the game, and the first kill for my team. But looking at the situation, I think my team should be relatively okay. They've got a very heavily damaged Bismarck over here. There's just a cruiser back over here. There's another battleship over here, but that's not too big of a deal given the support that this side of the map now has as far as cruisers and battleships. The team on the other side of the map, however, is really in trouble. They are being pushed by 3 or 4 of the enemy destroyers, including the Moss, as well as having several battleships push up on that side of the map. So I'm going to use my abilities here, which is the speed and the stealth concealment ability of the Fletcher, as well as my smokescreen, to get over here and provide assistance. Yes, I could have pushed down into the enemy base, but at this particular situation, given the amount of pressure that they're starting to put on our base, even if I got in there, it would only really take having them put 2 or 3 of their destroyers onto our cap to win it instantly. They wouldn't even have to come back and deal with me. Enemy destroyer up here on fire. He's laying a smoke screen for, I think, one of the battleships over there. But it doesn't look like he's going to be long for this world. My team does manage to take out that destroyer as well as another ship, which is good for us. So we are pulling the scores back a little bit, but the enemy team is still in the lead, and they're still in a better position than my team, as they are back over by our spawn, putting a lot of pressure on our base. Now I get a set of torpedoes out here based on where I think that Iowa is going and his lead indicator, but of course that Iowa is being fairly smart, and he's varying his speed. He's actually slowing down quite a bit, trying to stay back behind that island and back behind that smoke screen as much as possible. So that those torpedoes not going to be able to hit their target this time. Friendly destroyer up here has laid a smokescreen, but for whatever reason he is heavily detected, and I think that might be because of the Moss using his hydro consumable. So, looking at the situation, I open up on the Moss with my guns, and I'm going to try and get turned around here as I start taking a lot of fire in. There is an enemy Baltimore up there, but there's also this Akazuki who's taking shots at me too, and yeah, I'm putting the hurt on the boss, but I'm also taking a lot of hurt here as well. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to turn around, pop my smoke screen. And now what I need to do, I've broken line of sight, is I need to slow down and drop off detectability, but I'm not doing that until I realize I'm still being detected. So I start slowing down, way down. Here comes shots in there, managed to just barely dodge those. And that Iowa pushing up still, and it looks like he's maneuvering still, maneuvering pretty heavily. So I get torpedoes out towards him. Now, I pop my speed boost, and I motor out of here because I don't want to be sitting in that smoke. There were still 2 destroyers back over there, plus there was that Baltimore that was pushing up. Now, a couple of heavily damaged teammates here are pushing out and down towards the enemy base. So they are going the kind of opposite direction of where I'd like them to be, but it's a random battle. I can't really deal with that all that much. Enemy team still way up on points and way up on ships and kills. But it looks like I'm going to get nice fat hits on this Iowa. Somehow only managed to cause 1 flooding, which is really disappointing, but I did manage to kill the Moss, which worked out for me. Enemy Baltimore has popped his radar consumable. This is a problem for me. I decide, since I'm being detected anyway, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to open up with my guns on that Iowa. With any luck, I can set him on fire on top of it, because I think I might have caused the flooding to him, but I'm not sure. I am taking shots out from pretty much everybody, and I decide at this point I'm going to stop firing. I'm going to let my detection range drop back down. The radar should no longer be active by the time that happens, and I can go back into concealment, and that is exactly the case. Don't manage to secure the kill on the Iowa. A little disappointed by that, because I did so much damage to him, but that's alright. That's another enemy ship out of the game. Now I fire off a set of torpedoes at this enemy destroyer who's sitting in our cap, and this is a problem. But pay attention to those torpedoes. More importantly, pay attention to that Baltimore in his course. Enemy destroyer gets taken out. I again opted not to open up with him. I could have secured that kill, but because there's that Baltimore there and I don't need his guns shooting at me. Definitely don't want that. Push myself back into the base to get myself into a good position. My smoke screen's almost up again, but I'm not sure if it'll be a cause for concern at this point. Again, look at that Baltimore and look at his direction. One of my torpedoes clips the sinking hull of that enemy destroyer, but it looks like I've got 1 torpedo that's going to nail this guy right in the bow, and that is exactly what happens. Didn't even aim at him, but it just so happens that worked out conveniently for me. Another enemy destroyer pops up here, and I'm desperately trying to have him flagged for people to shoot at him. But of course, he manages to take out our friendly battleship. The friendly teammates that were down trying to sneak into their base got taken out by one of their other battleships and one of the other destroyers. But so far, just defending the base managed to kind of equal out the game a little bit. It's still a very close game, and of course my team only has 2 ships left, myself and the Fletcher at about half health, and friendly Alabama, who's got a lot of health. Enemy Fletcher, very low health here. I've got more HP than him, so I start opening up with my guns as I try to get turned around and going the opposite direction. Can I kill him without taking too much damage? Come on. Yes, managed to kill him. There's my Confederate. Pop my repair wheel, get my engine back up. Pop my smoke screen because I'm being detected, and that can only mean the other destroyer is over there. 1 destroyer left, and this could be a problem because he is full HP. Well, almost full HP. Definitely got more HP than I do. But his anti-aircraft guns are blazing away, and he's shooting at that Alabama, which means he's continuing to be detected. So I'm going to pump round after round into him. Friendly Alabama, huge hit on this guy. Manages to knock his HP way down, and I'm just going to start whittling him down as well. Unfortunately, enemy Japanese destroyer, very fast boat. So my shots are really only hitting the stern of him, and it's hard to keep him in frame while I'm trying to land these shots and keep my second ticks up there. He manages to get torpedoes away at that Alabama, but of course it's the Alabama. It doesn't care about your torpedoes. Alabama manages to take out that destroyer, which is good for us. Between the two of us so far, we've managed to kind of hold on to the base, and we've actually equaled out the teams list. But looking at the situation, looking at how many minutes are left in this game, we're pretty much in a situation where we have to sink one more player. Enemy battleship up here, and there's an enemy cruiser left who's been fairly sneaky, but he's going to be popping up here any second. This battleship, if we can sink him and not die in the process, we can win on points alone. So I get one set of torpedoes away at that island, but it looks like this guy's turning in. He's turning hard, which really annoys me that he's doing this, because I just like him to sail in a nice straight line and die. There are the shots from the enemy cruiser, and I think he should be popping up here. He is back over there. There he is. He's very low health. So if our Alabama can focus him down, get shots out onto him, he should be able to kill him instantly and finish him off. I am detected as I get way too close to this battleship. The battleship takes shots at me. Oh, this is going to hurt. Oh, he almost manages to kill me. I was almost dead there. Doesn't matter, though. Managed to finish him off with one torpedo there and drop back into concealment. So now it's just this enemy cruiser left. I'm very low health. They haven't managed to kill me. But even if they did manage to kill me, given how low health he is and the fact that he's shooting and our Alabama have so much HP, there's basically no way we can lose this game at this point. So we took a losing game and we turned it into a victory. Snatching victory from the jaws of defeat. Always feels good. Of course, that means the other team. Snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. Now, I'm going to fire off another set of torpedoes here, because I'm not sure how much this guy is going to maneuver, how long he's going to survive. Pop my smoke screen, start getting shots out here. That is actually the ARP Nachi and not a Miyoko with no camo, for whatever reason. The replay's not showing the ARP ships, even though they are in my port. But Alabama manages to kill the sucker, and we finish out the game, having killed everything. 133,000 damage done, not a bad game for me. Confederate and Kraken unleashed, but no high caliber. A little disappointing there. No devastating strikes either. Apparently I was very good at finishing off wounded ships, but not actually outright killing them, in spite of doing a lot of damage to ships like the Bismarck and the Iowa there. Top of the team for XP earned, just over 1,800 base XP, so a very respectable game. And of course, enemy destroyer there, over 1,000 base XP on the loss, so good job to him. Anyway, that's it for today's video, folks. If you liked the video, hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down below. If you'd like to get semi-regular channel news and updates, you can do so by liking and following me on Facebook. If you'd like to help support me and my channel, as well as gain access to my World of Warships replay files and screenshots early, you can do so by becoming my supporter on Patreon. Any support level will grant you access to those replays. If you've got a replay like this one that you'd like to see on my channel, you can send it to my email. And if you'd like to watch me play World of Warships, among other games, live on Sundays at 10 a.m., you can do so by following me on Twitch. You can find the links for all of those in the video description down below. And as always, I'll see you next time. This is Captain Rye, signing off.